Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine with Global Entertainment News Morning Boss. I am your host, Bella, and ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, brings his own spark to the studio is. Let's dive into today's headline, fresh from the National and the Guardian. The top story from the Nation: security operation led for selling arms to bandits. A security operation who sells state arms and ammunition to bandits has been arrested by the Directorate of State Service (DSS). The operative yet to be named was arrested with a cache of arms which he planned to sell to criminal elements for 4 million naira. He was arrested alongside 53 others by the Kaduna command of the DSS during raid on dark spots in the northwest state. Also arrested were 8 suspected bandits, 22 of their suspected informants, 4 gun runners, 2 human traffickers, 4 cyber fraudsters, 2 vandals, and 12 family members of suspected bandits. According to the Kaduna State Governor, Uba Sani, the arrests were made during 34 successful operations by DSS operatives in the state. Wow.
Well, it's actually a very good step by the Directorate of State Service (DSS) for them to be able to cop out those that operation. Selling arms is actually it's an illegal business everywhere in the world because if you start selling arms to on unauthorized personnel, they take advantage of it and it leads to so many insurgencies that will be disturbing that northern part of the country. Definitely, we all know now that this these arms are being bought by some particular people to actually give a force to crime system. So I think it's actually a very good step by the DSS to be able to cop this out.
Well, this is very disheartening coming from a security personnel operating. It feels like our own people are being against us because we can't be fighting insecurity, and then you, as a security personnel, turn against and then selling arms to them. This is not just a 3 people, but these are included of 34 people that are operating in this. This is really, really disheartening. I don't know how long this has been going on, but it feels like our security personnel needed to be well trained and then know what they should do, because I don't think this is not even a good news to me. To the DSS that says that they raid out the operation and then arrested few more than 50 something people involved in all this, they really need to betten up more, because this one is not even a good news. If someone in the security personnel is actually having the authority to arms and even selling it out to bandits that is disturbing us, then there's a lot coming for us. Well, moving on, telecom banks on 50% tariff hike to improve service quality. Nigerian mobile network operators (MNOs) are banking on the cash flow from the 50% adjustment to end-user tariff of telecom service to improve declining service across the country. It was gathered at the weekend, recalled the federal government, by the Nigerian Communication Commission (NCC) had approved tariff adjustment for MNOs in response to persistent warning of the imminent extinction of the sector, which has become the jugular vein of the national economy. The NCC had predicated tariff adjustments on improved service quality. Chief Cooperative Service Officer at MTN Nigeria says the regulator had given the MNOs a 3-month window in which to significantly improve service quality. Almost 3 months into the implementation of the new tariff, customers have kept complaining about paying so much for data, voice and SMS, and getting so little in return, especially for data and voice.
Well, we spoke about this last year about the NCC coming together to increase tariff to 50%. with what we are actually facing in this country when it comes to poor servicing and the rate at which airtimes and data get swiped off immediately without even knowing what they are used for. I think this increase in telecom bank is going to actually cost so many things. I tell you, the communications commission really needs to look into this aspect because we can't be talking about increase in tariff hike. The 50% is not the 50% is actually a very big one for with what the economy is really facing now. Having adding this to it is actually going to be heartbreaking to so many people.
Well, talking about that, the tariff hike, I feels like our Nigerian leadership are not actually ready to give us the benefit, the comforts that we actually needed. I'm still going to say that all those tariff is not just going to face on the telecom alone. Other goods are getting overpriced right now, and then you get nothing in return of it because everything has been changed, has been jungle, has been shift from one side to the other, and then there's not even improvement in it.
Huh? It's left for the federal government to work hand to hand with the NCC to reform this tariff hike and everything. So we should think on better things to channel our resources.
Exactly. Moving on. Nigerian's child prisoner. The children in Nigeria correctional centers are among disturbing aspects of the country justice system. The Ministers of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo recently expressed concern over the issue at a high-level interagency stakeholders meeting in Abuja. He cited a 2024 report indicating that an alarming 26,000 children have been held annually in the country correctional facility over the past 5 years. He says this figure represented over 30% of the total inmate population, raising serious concern about violation of child protection law. He noted that the law mandates their placement in hostile institution so that they can undergo reformation in line with their age. The Permanent Security Minister of Interior, Magdalene Ajani, also observed that between 2018 to 2022, an average of 26,000 children and young adults were held in Nigeria Custodial Center annually. These statistics are not just number, they represent vulnerable life in urgent need of intervention, she said.
Uh, Um, yeah, talking about correctional centers, I think more of Nigerian correctional centers are jam packed with underage people. Because you see some parents that will say, okay, well, my child is a stubborn person, he has done this, probably he or she has not gotten to the age of going to prison or something, and you take the child there to some people call it hostel for correction. Some say it's there's this super adage they use for it. That people believe in taking their child there just 3 months, 4 months, go there and go and learn things, go and do this, go and do that. Probably I think this increase in minor in the correctional center really needs to be checked in because yeah,
Is affecting.
really
eh,
needs to be checked in.
Well, talking about that, I feel like also why the parents there feels like the prison is actually a better place for their children to learn something if they are being stubborn. I feels like it's also the worst place that any parents could actually imagine to take there because that place is already filled up with thugs, armed robbery, kidnappers, and all that. Taking your child there is just going to open another way. Maybe before you go back there, a kidnappers or an armed robber that needed to pass information to his gang somewhere would just use the child as a way out, and from there the child has become something else.
Because I think it's something we really need to check in. Because if we don't check these things, it will really be abused.
Yes.
It will be abused.
Well, let's move on. Federal government warn against cyber slavery. The federal government has raised the alarm over rising cyber slavery in West Africa. It says in a statement by Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson Himibi Ibe that many Nigeria, especially teenagers, were the target of the perpetrators. According to the statement, the perpetrator lured young Nigerians out of the country by promising them lucrative employment opportunity. The warning followed the recent rescues of about 231 Nigerians forced to engage in cybercrime in Accra, Ghana. The, the Nigerians were freed by the Economic and Organized Crime Office in Accra. The statement by Ebenefa read in part, in reality, these individuals are trafficked into sophisticated scam operation and enslaved to work in criminal call center, often referred to as 419 cyber scam factories. Wow.
This is something that we all know already, and it's something that has gone rampage into the society when it comes to cyber crime and cyber trafficking and everything. I think it's actually a good step to me to be able to cop out cybercrime away from the country because our country, Nigeria, has actually been labeled as one of the worst states when it comes to cybercrime and everything, corruption and everything. So I think this step is actually a good step. You see Nigerians moving to other countries.
Just to
Some
go
will tell
on.
you, I'm going there for greener pasture. I'm going there to. Some of them are not even going there to do a legit job. They are going there to go into crimes, probably go into something but drugs, trafficking, anything that's illegal. At the end of the day, you hear that particular people have been deported back to the country. Knowing fully well that the main reason why they went there was not for a better purpose, or just for probably someone called you, come over, come and stay with me, and you know that that person this is what the person is doing. You went there to add more. Okay?
Well, I feel like Nigeria is actually easy for a migrant to come into Nigeria and get a job even when they are not citizens. But in other African countries, you have to come in a well prepared paper. When you are coming with your visas and all that, that is when you know that you can actually gain a greener pasture. But if you are going there through the going against the law to get into that country, you have no right to getting a job. So, and I feels like this Ghana of 18 has become a notorious ground for mostly people that have been trafficked from Nigeria to Ghana to go. Some are even into prostitution. The ladies are into prostitution, while the guys are into this cyber crime of 18. Well, on today's top story from The Guardian, BCPG blames Ojodu building collapse on non-implementation of recommendation. The Building Collapse Prevention Guide has attributed the collapse to the building on Oremota Street to the non-implementation of its recommendation following the 2013 building collapse on Bashiru Street. The guide, which served as the umbrella body for 7 built environment professional group dedicated to eradicating building collapse, described the recent collapse of the three-story building with 3 suspected floors under construction for a fourth story on Saturday, April 19, 2025, as a blow to their collective science. BCPG expressed that the pain and regret within the guide become more profound after 8 bodies were recovered and 20 persons sustained injury. According to the guide, the fact that this collapse and its accompanying loss of innocent life were preventable has deepened the emotional wound inflicted on its member. Questioning how the tragic occurred between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, member described the incident as not only unpardonable but also deeply distressing.
So the government has actually come out. I think this is last 3 months ago where we had a collapse also. I think if I'm not mistaken, last 4 months we had issue of collapse building, and the government came outside to say any all architects, engineers should always have a good planning to land and building their building. So in this case, the Ojoju building collapse nothing it's nothing compared to what we've seen before. But I believe it's when something happens that we try to take prevent it, or when it already happens. our government will now try to prevent it from happening,
Exactly.
from rehappening again. But in this case, now, I believe the government in charge of buildings, implementations, building constructions, the Engineers Association of Nigeria, the Architecture Association of Nigeria, they need to come up together, have a seminar for everybody to really understand that lives are very, very paramount, very, very important to see. Because just imagine people that died in this
Building.
building collapsing now. It's one of the worst form of dying is the collapsing. Just imagine you in a building, you just start hearing sounds, you sinking and buildings, things falling on your head you can't even, before you even protect yourself because it's something you didn't expect. Before you protect yourself, your hand can be stuck somewhere. So I believe it's something the government really need to look into
Well,
to
that's
avoid things
building
like that again.
collapsing of it, and I think it has becoming common in norms in Lagos State that every part of Lagos you're hearing collapse of building, and this is supposed to be a city center, and then why you hear a building collapse in Banana Island in Lagos? Why? Why is it so common in Lagos? Well, let's move on. DSS arrests 54 bandit gun runners in Kaduna. The President Bola Tinubu appointing Oluwatosin Ajayi as Director General of the Department of State Service (DSS) amidst a raid on terrorist den by men of the service, leading to the arrest of 54 suspects in the state. According to Sani, the appointment of the Director General has helped reposition the DSS to tackle the country's security challenges. The commendation by the governor was coming on the heels of the Kaduna State Command of the DSS carrying out 34 successful operations in the state, leading to the arrest of 54 suspects, including servicing security operative and the recovery of a large cache of arms and ammunition. Sani, who spoke through the state attorney general and commissioner of justice Sule Shaibu, expressed delight with the success recorded by the security agency. He noted that the DSS operative had, in addition to the arrest, recorded scores of rifle, pump-action guns and several thousand rounds of ammunition within the first quarter of 2025.
Kudos once again to
The
our
DSS.
DSS for having that courage, and because when you do good you need to be applauded for the good things.
You
When
have
you do
done.
bad they tell you this is your wrong, and it's actually a good step. If the DSS keep working like this, I think we'll be able to up in insecurity. If these people don't see means of restocking their arms again, definitely they will have to surrender for so many things. I think actually a very good step, and I once again I applaud the DSS for another job wonderfully done in Kaduna State.
Exactly. Well, let's move on. Kidnapping vigilance member killed, 7 victims rescued in Edo. A vigilance member identified as Ije Moses was killed during a rescue operation on Ugempe Agenebode Road in Etasko Central Local Council of Edo State. Moses succumbed to injuries sustained in a gun battle with kidnappers while helping to rescue 7 abducted individuals. The Edo State Police Public Relations Officer Moses Yamu confirmed the incident in a statement yesterday. Yamu says one of the victims sustained injury during the operation but is responding to treatment. According to Yamu, the rescue mission involved operatives from the Agebode Divisional Police Headquarters Operation Rescue Team and local vigilantes and hunter.
Good one. I think this week is actually very, very good
Yes,
when it comes to the kind of reports we've been hearing about our security personnel really sweeping into actions, getting hold of so many illegal things happening in society. I think actually a good step. If we keep working like this, we are hearing good reports, good news about things happening in society. I think yeah, we definitely seem to be heading somewhere.
exactly. Well, let's move on. NDLEA seized 1.42 billion naira drugs, arrested 3 Ghanaians, intercept Saudi board cocaine. Operative of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has recovered 589 bags of Canadian loud, a patent trait of cannabis with a total weight of 417.3 kilograms, valued at 1.42 billion in street value over hours of searching an eight-room hotel in Victoria Island, Lagos. Three suspects, Eze Ajitu, Ofuquo Samuel, and Emmanuel Ame, were arrested during the operation at the five-story hotel, which took place between Friday, April 25 and Saturday, April 26. Two other suspects, Noble Philip and his partner Kenneth, remain at large. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi confirmed the development in a statement yesterday, revealing that the hotel was being used as a front for distributing illicit. Okay, let's move on. Two died, six injured in Oyo Ogbomosho Road auto crash. Two people lost their life while six others sustained injuries in a car accident along the Oyo Ogbomosho Road yesterday. The crash, which occurred around 7 a.m. near the Ipeba area, involved a commercial Nissan vehicle that reported rammed into rock placed at a barricade by a construction company. The deceased include the driver and a female passenger whose identity had not been disclosed as of press time. Federal Road Safety Corps officials from the Olo Unity were said to have promptly responded to the scene, evacuating the injured victim to Bowen University Teaching Hospital for medical treatment. The bodies of the deceased were disposed at the morgue of Lakode Akintola University of Technology Teaching Hospital, Ogbomoso. Speaking on the incident, the state sector commander of FRSC, Mary Allo, confirmed the crash, saying, I am aware there were there was an accident at Olo. The vehicle ran into the wow.
Well, it's actually very sad news. Because because hearing about accidents, hearing about casualties, it's not something we actually pray for, not something we wish. Coming out, waking up in the morning, um, planning your day, going out going for your job, and the next one is accident, untimely death. It's not something we plan for. So that's
It,
something we plan for. We really need to really work on the way we use phones in Nigeria. Some people really abuse it. You mean, so if we really check this, you mean, one of the advantage bad roads are given to the country that it reduce accidents sometimes. If you check it, is when a particular set of government appears in a particular road, you see people start taking
the kind of speed they can use on that road before. They start going up speed, moving up to high
Speeding
speed and all
anyhow
that.
they
And
like.
there's no bumps to reduce all this kind of movements on the express. It's what the government really needs to look into. So placing it at least bumps. Well, there is no advice to place bumps on the highway due to highway robbery and everything. But I think our drivers really need to be careful of what
They're
yeah.
driving. Wow, thank you for joining us on today's breakfast show. I have been your host, Bella. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, have a blessed and lovely day. Bye.